My name is Maya Thompson, and at 25 years old, I live in the small, tight-knit community of Cedar Grove. Growing up here, everyone knows everyone, and friendships can feel as solid as concrete or as fragile as glass. I always thought I had one of the strongest friendships possible, a bond forged in the fires of shared experience and trust. My best friend, Jamie, and I had been inseparable since the 6th grade. We had weathered school dances, awkward phases, and late-night talks until the sun came up, each of us the other's biggest supporter. But that all changed this past Easter, and my world was shaken to its core. On Easter morning, I received a text from Jamie that left my heart racing and my mind spinning. It was a message that felt like a betrayal. She wanted to end our friendship. The reasons she gave were flimsy and nonsensical to me. She claimed I lacked compassion because when her rat died, I had said I was cold and walked away. Sure, it was winter and freezing outside, and I had comforted her through that entire recess, but somehow that did not matter. She also accused me of trying to date her during sleepovers, which was an outright lie. I had always trusted her completely, and our friendship meant the world to me. As I read her message, anger simmered within me, but more than that, I felt an icy wave of realization wash over me. The cracks in our friendship had been growing for years, and I could hardly ignore them anymore. Time and again, I noticed how one-sided our relationship had become. I was the one always reaching out, always the one to offer comfort as she poured out her problems, while she seldom bothered to check in on me. I had given her feedback and heartfelt advice on the book she was writing, pouring my passion for storytelling into supporting her dreams. But when I dared to ask for her insights on my own writing, she brushed me off like I was asking for too much. I realized I had been more of a support system for her than she had ever been for me, and it made me sick. That thought marked a turning point in my mind. Instead of wallowing in heartbreak, I decided to take power back into my own hands. I envisioned a plan for revenge that would give me a sense of closure and accomplishment. I had been working on my own book for several months, and now I set my sights on finishing and publishing it before she could ever release her own. After all, how could I let her end our friendship and get away with it? I was determined to take my story, my voice, to the world and show her that I am more than just a footnote in her life. Each time I sat down to write, the idea of beating her to the finish line spurred me on. I threw myself into my writing, pouring every ounce of my emotion into the pages. Yet the more I worked on my book, the more I was haunted by the thought of Jamie. It pushed me harder, but it also made me question whether I was doing the right thing. I had reached a low point, drowning in the weight of my emotions, feeling like a mere ghost of the outgoing, confident person I used to be. The idea that I would willingly be part of a petty rivalry made me feel disgusted. Was seeking revenge truly worth it? As the days turned into weeks, something snapped inside of me like a taut string finally breaking. I flipped the switches in my mind and focused solely on my manuscript. I worked late into the night, fueled by coffee and determination. I thought of Jamie and our memories, the laughs we had shared, and it filled me with rage. I wanted to take everything she had turned on its head and show her what it felt like to lose her grip. With each chapter I completed, the rush of empowerment surged through me, obliterating the ties that had once bound me to her. Finally, the night came when I realized my book was ready to be sent off to a publisher. There was no use in holding back any longer. I hit send, and just like that, a wave of calm washed over me. It felt surreal, but there was still one final hurdle. I knew I needed to confront Jamie. After all, I could not leave things as they were. I had to let her know exactly how I felt and how I would not be the same person she once knew. With my heart racing, I arranged to meet her at a local cafe. I wanted to do this face to face. When I arrived, I spotted Jamie seated at a corner table, scrolling through her phone with an air of nonchalance. There was something piercing in her expression as I approached. I took a deep breath, ready to lay it all out. "Jamie," I started, my voice steady despite the quickening beat of my heart. "I want to talk about what happened. What you did hurt me more than you will ever realize. You ended our friendship over silly arguments that were rooted in misunderstandings. But let me tell you what I did after our last conversation. I took my pain and turned it into something beautiful." As I confessed what I had accomplished, I could see a flicker of surprise in her eyes. Her initial look of casual indifference dissolved as I described the book I had just sent off for publication. "It is dedicated to the strong women who refuse to be ignored," I said, locking my gaze with hers. "And trust me, I am more than okay. I no longer need your approval or your friendship." Jamie's face twisted into something unrecognizable. I saw an edge of jealousy mixed with regret, and it was intoxicating. She opened her mouth to respond, but the words died on her lips. I could tell she had never anticipated this version of me. I turned away and walked out, feeling as if I had just emerged from a storm. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind of emotions as I awaited news from the publisher. My book was finally released, and to my astonishment, it received a warm reception. I found myself receiving messages from readers who resonated with my words, and while I did not want to dwell on it, part of me took solace in the knowledge that Jamie was probably aware of my success. In the end, my revenge did not come through petty games or malicious acts. Instead, it transformed into something poetic. I had become my own hero, reclaiming my voice and my worth. I found new friendships that were built on reciprocity and mutual respect. My life was on a brighter path than I ever thought possible, and I had freed myself from the chains of a one-sided friendship. Sometimes, justice does not hinge on revenge. It lies in moving forward, in honoring yourself, and in embracing the incredible person you are becoming.